You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. If you're a smoker or dipper looking to make a change, you really only need one reason to do it. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you can find many. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch. It's made with only 6 simple ingredients. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction, but there's only one Zyn. Learn more about Zyn and find your reason to make a change by registering online at zyn.com.
Welcome to the Pitch Clock. Here's the pitch, a 2-part baseball segment
combining a nostalgic baseball trivia game and an interview with an expert.
This is the Pitch Clock.
All right, back with another playoff edition of the Pitch Clock. Adnan Virk joins me and Chris Cody to play this trivia game with Taylor. We'll have David Samson joining me in studio, but we got to get to some trivia. Taylor, what is our trivia game today?
So this past Saturday, the Mets and the Yankees played a postseason game on the same day for the first time in 18 years, October 7th, 2006. In front of you guys, you have the lineups from those two games that day. The Yankees versus the Tigers, and then the Mets versus the Dodgers.
2006.
This is my
October 7th.
So you guys will be guessing the players from those starting lineups. It's 3 strikes and you're out format, and you don't need the exact spot in the lineup.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. Derek Jeter.
One of the safest picks.
That's a good one. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead. Jose Reyes.
Jose Reyes is the Mets starting choice.
All right, Adnan. Who you got? We've got Derek Jeter and Jose Reyes off the board.
I love Cody's confidence. I'm going to go with a guy I worked with yesterday, Sean Casey of the 06 Tigers.
Wow.
The mayor was starting at first base for the Tigers.
Wow. Chris?
Bernie Williams.
That's a strike.
That's a strike. He didn't start in this game? Okay. I'm going to stick with the Tigers, and I'm going to say Maglio Ordonez.
He is the right fielder.
Yep. Batting fourth that day. Maglio Ordonez.
This is so stupid.
Adnan, your second guess here. Chris has 1 strike. You and I are strikeless.
Yeah, I feel like Jorge Posada.
Jorge, it was the starting catcher.
That's great.
Okay.
Jorge Posada.
Had him.
All right.
Bernie
so
and
through
Jorge.
2 rounds, Chris Cody with a strike.
Yeah.
0 strikes for me and Adnan.
The only
Chris
one who talked has 1 strike. I'm going to go with David Wright at third base.
That's a great one. That's the other one I was
David
considering
Wright.
going with. I'm going to go with the Yankees again. I'm going to go Jason Giambi.
Yeah.
That is a strike.
No!
Wow.
Really?
I thought that was, I had him.
Was on the team.
He was on the team and didn't start at first or DH that day?
Shuffling the lineup.
Okay, so I mentioned that David Samson would be in studio. The only thing I didn't mention is that now I ended up being at home because those are all the moving parts here at Meadowlark Media. But we continue with the Pitch Clock. Very excited to catch up with David after the final day of 4 baseball games in the postseason. The final day where you had that much action and there was a lot of it. David, I want to start with you with the only team thus far to clinch a trip to the championship series, and that is the New York Mets, who were headed to the NLCS for the first time since 2015. They had a 4-1 win powered by Fransisco Lindor, who, according to OptaStats, became the only player in Major League postseason history to account for all of the runs that his team had via the grand slam in a series clinching win. Some of these stats have been really ridiculous as of late. But
who does that? How do they come up with that? He hits the grand slam. I assume the statisticians are more excited than Lindor was running around the bases because they're thinking, all right, if this game ends this way, let's start looking right now. Maybe they just punch it in or ask AI, but at some point the stats are insane. That one to me is ridiculous. The Alonso one is way better, where it's a go-ahead home run later in the game. Anyway, so yes, it was a great moment for the Mets. Watching Stephen Cohn celebrate with goggles. I hate the goggle look. I embrace the sting. You have to have the sting. It's ridiculous. And even if they're sponsored, just put them on your forehead. but the Mets have this aura around them. And I was really finding myself thinking about the Phillies. Oh, my God, the level of despondency. Jeremy, it was a year ago that John Middleton said, hey, guess what? We're good. And Bryce Harper's underpaid. And then the Diamondbacks beat him twice at home in the LCS.
It's a shock to me to see the Phillies that had such great vibes have a team come in somehow with even greater vibes in the Mets. And they're on this unbelievable run, whether you want to credit OMG or Hawk Tua or whatever it is.
Don't you dare credit Grimace or Hawk Tua or OMG. How about...
There are these silly things that the fan base is embracing, and it's a fun ride to watch your team and try to link it to anything when really all it is Fransisco Lindor turning it on and the rest of the team following suit. If you like those random stats, David, how about this one for you? The last 9 teams to eliminate the Brewers in the postseason have reached the World Series. So that's good news for the Mets as they head into the NLCS. But I want to stay in New York with you, David, for a minute, because last night, it's your guy, Giancarlo Stanton. How about some of these stats that I've got for you here? Last night, he's 3 for 5 with a homer, an RBI double, and a stolen base. The rest of the Yankees were 1 for 25 with 5 strikeouts. Judge this postseason, 1 for 11 with 5 strikeouts, while Stanton has been dominant. He's the 6th Yankee, or I believe the number is, he is 6th in career postseason home runs in Yankees franchise history now. He's the 3rd Yankee ever with 24 or more RBIs in a 20-game span of the postseason, joining Reggie Jackson and Lou Gehrig. So how special is it, not just for you, but for Yankees fans, to see what Giancarlo Stanton is doing right now? And how does that elevate the Yankees and their World Series hopes while, Soto's playing well, but Judge has yet to get hot?
So here's the key for the Yankees. They have to have someone carry them offensively because Jazz and Judge and Soto's hit well, but you just need more. And then you've got Stanton. But really, if you look at what the Yankees are doing, their bullpen has been untouchable. You can't score off the bullpen as opposed to the Phillies bullpen, which is a piece of melted Swiss cheese. All they do is give up runs and runners. So while I'd love to say and call up Giancarlo, look at me, David, and say, hey, you are carrying the Yankees. You are the man. The fact is, he's a man amongst other men who are making the Yankees harder to beat. The only way they will win without Judge being better is if this bullpen continues. And Jeremy, I'm sorry, I got to go back to the Mets quickly. Don't underestimate what their starting pitching's done.
Oh, yeah.
Unexpectedly, Minaya going 7 scoreless. Quintana setting records going 5 scoreless like the last several postseason starts. If that continues, forget Grimace, forget booing Jazz. You could see a Subway Series here in the next couple weeks. It's unbelievable.
Okay, I have a strike now, even with Chris. Adnan, your third guess.
I'm going to go with, was Miggy on the Tigers yet? Let's go Miguel Cabrera.
That's a strike. Miguel Cabrera, not on the Tigers.
Wow, so
damn it,
man! I have a couple here. I have a Tiger that I want to pull out of my ass here that I just want to say, because I'm pretty sure it feels like the right time. I'm just gonna do it. Let's have some fun. Brandon Inge.
I swear,
Brandon Inge was starting at third.
Amazing, good for you.
Where? What position?
Third.
Oh, I had
he was playing third base that day. Okay. Notice we're all avoiding the Dodgers.
I just found one with the Dodgers.
I'm going to... By 2006, was he there? No.
8 seconds.
All right. I'm going to try to cash in here. Was the Mets catcher Paul LaDuca?
It was Paul LaDuca.
Yes!
Wow.
Paul LaDuca. All right, Adnan, what's your next guess here?
Okay, we got to go with the Dodger. I don't know about maybe this day wasn't starting, but what about Andre Ethier?
Dude, that's great. Right field. Batting 5th.
That's a second strike for Adnan.
No! 2 strikes!
I had Ethier written down at the right fielder for that.
Cody, I was so proud. I was like, Andre Ethier could be a sneaky good pick.
That does help me think about certain eras. Yeah, Chris, you're up.
I mean, this is obvious looking at it.
Has
the only second baseman in history to bat cleanup was Jeff Kent.
It was Jeff Kent for the Dodgers.
Wow! Yeah. I just want to know if the guy I'm thinking of was up yet with the Yankees. Yankees second baseman Robinson Cano.
It was Cano.
Thank God. Adnan, you're back up here.
Okay, I'm going to have to just play it safe here. I believe Nomar was on that Dodgers team.
Great one. No?
That's a third strike for Adnan.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me redeem myself. Russell Martin.
I will give him a redemption. It was Russell Martin catching.
Okay, but all right. Well,
but he has struck out.
Yeah, all right. And if you want to stick around and keep guessing, we'll let you do so. But you are at the car dealership and you're already out of the game and can't win. So it's up to you.
Let's stick in the American League for a second, because you have an even stranger series going on between a couple of AL Central teams and the Guardians and the Tigers. The Guardians have now gone 22 straight scoreless innings after their offensive outburst at the beginning of Game 1. First, it was Tarek Skubal who was dominant for the Tigers in Game 2. And then yesterday, the rebrand of a bullpen day to pitching chaos is maybe my favorite thing that I've seen in baseball recently, which is the Tigers just piecing it together with all of these other arms. They're now a game away from advancing to the championship series. David, do you think the Tigers can continue this improbable run and win one more of these games against the Guardians? What are your expectations for what goes on tonight in the first game between these two teams?
First of all, your bias is leaking out of your pores as you want the Tigers to advance. And
I'm desperate.
It's unbelievable. Like, forget neutrality. This is all on Tigers advancing because I want to go as part of the Batard show to
That's
Detroit,
exactly right.
which are not words uttered by all that many people in Miami. But that said, what the Tigers did is what the Dodgers did yesterday. They put out 8 pitchers, and they all were good. That is not a great prescription to win a 7-game series, but you can win a 5-game series because they are related. You say that the Guardians haven't scored. We know you can't win a baseball game if you don't score, and the reason they're not scoring is the Tigers' bullpen. So can the Tigers get another game in the next 2 when you've got Skubal ready to go for a Game 5 if necessary? You got to feel really good. But if you are the Tigers, tonight's game matters so much. You don't want to go to a Game 5 because you want Skubal ready to go Game 1 of the ALCS. And so in order to get that, you can't burn him in Game 5. Therefore,
That's exactly right.
The Tigers need to look at tonight's Game 4 as a Game 5 and manage accordingly, more so than any other team. The Padres didn't have to clinch last night. They're ready to go with Darvish in Game 5. It's all good. The Yankees can move on if Cole doesn't get it done. There's no team more than the Tigers that needs to win in 4 games.
Last night, it's the Dodgers absolutely dominating offensively in their bullpen, putting it together. We look ahead at a Game 5 where it feels like a lot is on the line for both of these franchises as they go head-to-head.
Game 5, deciding game.
Yeah, deciding game.
Yes,
Best
there's a
2
lot
words
on
in
the line.
sports. Game 5. As you have these two teams, David, what are your thoughts and who do you expect to ultimately come out the victor? Is Yu Darvish is the scheduled starter for the Padres, and the Dodgers are sitting here going, what are we going to do on the mound?
My guess is they go with Yamamoto and they can back him up with Flaherty if they absolutely have to, coming off a bullpen game the way they did in Game 4. Again, Yu Darvish. He owns the Dodgers. They're his, what's that expression? I'm going to sound old. Is it, I'm your daddy?
Yeah, that was the
Pedro Martinez.
The Yankees, right? The Yankees chanting, who's your daddy?
Who's your
from the
daddy?
stands.
Well, guess
Yeah,
what?
exactly.
I'll tell you who the Dodgers' daddy is. It's Darvish. So you got to feel really good. Last night's game was just, it was done in the 3rd inning. You could just sense at 5-0 that everyone's wheels were turning toward a Game 5. It turns out that the road team has won the last 6 Game 5s. This is it's the home field advantage is not what it used to be. It's only as good as the starting pitching, in my opinion. Getting a bullpen game over and over again is super hard to do because one of the pitchers is not going to be on a particular night. So if I'm the Dodgers, I'm worried about facing Darvish. And if I'm the Padres, I'm feeling pretty confident. However, as we've seen with the Guardian series, you got to score to win. It's the funniest thing we say in sports, but it's so true. It doesn't matter how good your pitching is. You got to score a run, and that is going to be the case for the Padres.
Some unbelievable hitters in this series. Fernando Tatis is on fire. Mookie Betts all of a sudden going from postseason choker to one of the hottest hitters in baseball over the last couple of games. Shohei Ohtani's been great. This should be an incredible end of the series. David, thank you for providing your analysis here. I do want to real quick, before we wrap here, shout out ErnieThreads.com. The new pitch clock logo made by Angel Resto, they put it on a couple of hats for us. So David, I'm going to get one for you. I will also have a budget proposal to get to Detroit Detroit as soon as they clinch. I promise that'll be.
You got to be ready to do it now.
Hours.
Get ready now.
Ready to go. I'm starting as soon as we finish this recording. David, thank you so much. Let's head back over to see how our game wrapped up with Adnan and Chris.
I'm going to go Carlos Beltran batting third for the Mets.
Good call, Cody.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Well, and sticking with that era of Andre Ethier, I'm going to go Matt Kemp.
Yeah, not in the lineup.
2 strikes.
Oh, but he was on there?
Oh, but he was on the team?
I have no idea.
Okay, fair enough.
06 feels
Might
early
be early
for
for Matt Kemp.
06 feels early.
Might be early. That's on me. Wow. All right. So, Chris, we each have 2 strikes at this
I'm
point.
just going to stay hot with his Mets lineup. Jeremy Burnitz.
All right.
Need a name.
Omar Vizquel, Tigers? Wait.
Yeah, Can I just get one?
I panicked.
Bring it home here?
Bring it home.
Mets, first base, Carlos Delgado.
Carlos Delgado. Chris's hot streak continues.
Wow. This
my
is
era,
unbelievable. I really, you know who I almost said for the Mets was Mike Jacobs because he was the next one after.
Early for him. Yeah.
Damn. All right, Taylor, can we hear the rest of the names that we were missing here?
The Tigers lineup that day was Curtis Granderson, Placido Polanco, Sean Casey, Maglio Ordonez, Carlos Guillen, Pudge Rodriguez, Craig Monroe, Marcus Thames, Brandon Inge,
Marcus Thames.
Wow.
That name brings me
Jeremy
back.
Bonderman made the start.
Jeremy
Bonderman. That's amazing.
What else?
The Yankees lineup was Johnny Damon, Derek Jeter, Bobby Abreu. Gary Sheffield got the start at first. Hideki Matsui, Posada, Cano, A-Rod in the 8th spot.
And why was he batting 8th?
Just slumping.
He was struggling in
and
the
then
playoffs.
Melky Cabrera was batting 9th. Jared
Melky
Wright.
Cabrera, amazing.
That's great.
Jared Wright
The
got the
Milk
start.
Man delivers.
The players on the Mets you guys missed was Cliff Floyd, Sean Green, Jose Valentine,
Jose Valentine, no
Floyd, I
way.
should have got.
Steve Traskell. The
Mets.
Dodgers, Rafael Furcal.
Yep.
Kenny Lofton just played everywhere. He was their center
Todd
fielder.
Hollingsworth? No.
Marlon Anderson in left, J.D. Drew in right, Wilson Betemit at third,
Wilson Betemit, Jesus.
Who was that first?
James Loney.
These names
And then
just made me
pitching.
so happy.
Pitching for the Dodgers that day, Greg Maddux.
James
Greg Maddux. This one delivered, man. This was awesome. Great day. Adnan, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of The Pitch Clock. Chris, as always, congratulations on your victory.
And one last thought, Jeremy. I mean, if ever there was a guy that DraftKings would love, it's Wilson Betemit. Come on.
Thanks, Adnan.